I had my second one last week.
Good.
How'd that go?
Awesome. I have to tell you this story. Ron and I were out for dinner and we came home. It was some special event and my phone was ringing. And it was kind of a distant relative from Green Bay. And she said, Fran, what are you doing? I said, we just got home from dinner. She said, do you want the COVID shot? And I said, yes. She said, can you leave right now? I said, yes. This was 3 weeks ago. And she said, I have 3 unused shots at St. Nicholas Hospital. She said, I'll put you down for them. So Ron and I went in and got our shot very early and quite by accident. So,
Good.
and we had our second one last week. So we're good to go.
Well, like I said to Marilyn this morning, you got both arms yet? And she said, yeah.
I'll check in the morning.
Yeah, I had mine, I don't know, a week ago. No problem. Hopefully the second one goes as easy.
Why not?
I hope to be able to get one soon.
Yes, yes.
Gives
We
you a
want-
little bit of confidence, doesn't it?
It
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
Certainly
They
does.
told us that we would not be 100% until 2 weeks after the second shot.
That's
So
what
it
I heard.
must gradually become totally effective.
Hmm.
So don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what we were told.
And hopefully it'll protect against these 2 new variants or 3 new variants that they're talking about.
Mhm.
They claim that they will be.
So, hello, Kurt.
Still on mute. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Hey.
Kurt.
Hi, Kurt.
Hi, Kurt.
Bob, how are the golf courses looking?
Very white. I took a walk on the lake shore the other day. They're looking good. They're protected with this snow. It's much better
Yes.
to have snow than just like wet rain and freezing puddles and such, which would
Mhm.
kill the grass. This protects it.
Great.
So- They look good, and there's a lot of optimism in that world. We're having meetings tomorrow for the rider and everything. There's a growing optimism.
Great.
Yeah, it is good. I think we're turning a corner, if you will.
I think that I can feel that among the people that I see and talk to is that with the shots becoming available, that there's a relief.
Yes, I agree. That little bit of confidence, we need to just get out and do things again,
Right.
without really thinking about all this. Yeah.
And I think some of that confidence is warranted too, with the state starting to report the numbers now that they announced a week ago. Where
Yes.
they're reporting the percentage of positive tests again, like they used to before last fall. And we're down to the 3-day average, or the week average is like 3.1% positive tests. So that, nothing's perfect, but at least it's a picture that's a lot better than it was, a few months back.
I agree.
Henry Nelson joined the meeting.
Good evening, Henry.
Hello.
Paul Gruber, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Paul.
All right. But you can't see me, right? For some reason, it
Right.
just showed a big P on the screen. I can't get my
Yes.
picture in. Well, there
There
we
you
go.
are.
Hey, Paul.
Ah,
Say the magic word. It's the quietest I've ever heard this bunch.
A quiet bunch.
Simple, I just keep myself on mute.
This is nicer. I'm using my laptop now. I get to see more people. This is much nicer.
Just a friendly reminder to everybody that all the county board meetings are taped and on YouTube. So just want to make sure everyone's cognizant of that.
We have to be careful of what we say. Is that what you're saying?
We can't be candid, Adam?
Well, I said that predominantly for Greg Schnell.
Thank you for the reminder.
Good evening, Greg.
How are you?
Good.
That's good. Everybody survived a little bit of snow we had this morning, I see. That's good.
Yep. Nice plowing job on 23.
Thank you. A little bit of an issue this morning, but
Mm-hmm.
Few issues in Sheboygan, I suppose. Huh? We've got a lot more snow over there.
yeah. Right around that peak time of 7 o'clock, everything really kind of went haywire with ice.
Excuse me.
It's winter. Deal with it.
Exactly.
Not so ruthless there, Ed. Deal with it.
You want to send that message to Houston? They have a problem.
Let's see. Oh, there, let's see. More people. Good. So, hello, Fran.
Hello, Keith. How are you?
Good. Real good. Thank you. You too?
Yes.
So, hello, everyone. All these smiley faces. Even Adam's smiling.
Smile, Bill.
Oh, Brian, nobody's impeached you yet. That's a good thing to see. Yeah, shit happens, man. I mean, stuff happens. Excuse me. So,
All right, at 6 o'clock, so we'll start the Tuesday, February 16, 2021 meeting of the Sheboygan County Board. Are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
We are. The agenda was posted on the 12th of February at 3 p.m.
Thank you. Would you all please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
United
of the
States
United
of
States of America,
and to the republic
to the
for which
republic
it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
Liberty and
Liberty and
justice for all.
justice for all.
All right. Next is the roll call.
All right. Supervisor Smith.
Present.
Supervisor Gruber.
Present.
Supervisor Schneider.
Here.
Supervisor Montemayor.
Here.
Supervisor Clark.
Here.
Supervisor Nelson.
present.
Supervisor Projek. Supervisor Koch.
Here.
Supervisor Schobert.
Present.
Supervisor Brower.
Present.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Here.
Supervisor Ziegelbauer.
Here.
Supervisor Nenig.
Here.
Supervisor Abler.
Here.
Supervisor Kulo.
Here.
Supervisor Damp,
Here.
Supervisor Wagner,
Here.
Supervisor Immel,
Here.
Supervisor OJ, Supervisor Hoffman,
Here.
Supervisor Hilbelank. We got word he was not going to be participating. Supervisor Bosman,
Here.
Supervisor Veldman,
Here.
Supervisor Gehring,
Here.
Supervisor Testrudy,
Here.
and just another check for our electronic connection here. Supervisor Procheck.
Unmuted and I am now here.
Okay. Supervisor OJ. And Supervisor Hilbelank is not present. There are 23 supervisors present.
Thank you. Is that Supervisor OJ attempting to call in? We'll move on. Next item of business would be the approval of the January 19, 2021 journal. Supervisor Wagner.
I'll move for approval, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Supervisor Wagner. Supervisor Obler.
Seconded.
Thank you, Supervisor Obler. Is there any discussion on the journal? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the journal signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Consideration of appointments by county administrator.
To Aging and Disability Advisory Committee, 2 reappointments, Gerald Dumontier and Carol Zoran.
Very good. Would somebody be willing?
I'll make a motion.
Supervisor Gehring?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to concur with the nominations for approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Gehring. Supervisor Procheck?
I will second that.
Thank you, Supervisor Procheck. Under discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the appointments signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Presentations?
There are none.
Okay. Public addresses?
We have none tonight.
Okay. Letters, communications, and announcements?
Okay, first is a resolution from the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors supporting legislation known as the Commitment to Veteran Support and Outreach Act. We've previously received.
Okay, we'll receive that for information.
Next is a resolution from the Wood County Board of Supervisors supporting codifying specific water protection measures.
Okay, we'll refer that to Planning, Resources, Agriculture, and Extension.
Next, we have a resolution from the Outagamie County Board of Supervisors calling on a state legislature, the state legislature to pass COVID-19 legislation.
Okay, we'll receive that for information.
Next is a resolution from the Outagamie County Board of Supervisors supporting reauthorization of the Knowles-Nelson Stewardship Program.
Okay, we'll refer that to Planning, Resources, Agriculture, and Extension.
Next is a resolution from the Price County Board of Supervisors calling on the state legislature to return authority on conditional use permits to local control.
I believe that goes to Planning, Resources, Agriculture, and Extension.
Next, from Price County, a resolution supporting legislation on children protection detention hearing timelines and juvenile detention hearing timelines, which we've previously received.
Okay, then we'll receive that for information.
Next is a resolution from the Lincoln County Board of Supervisors supporting increased child support funding, which we have previously received.
We'll receive that for information.
Next, a resolution from the Lincoln County Board of Supervisors calling for action on climate change.
Have we received that before?
No.
Okay. And I think that will go to Planning, Resources, Agriculture and Extension.
And finally, we have a resolution from the Polk County Board of Supervisors supporting legislation on nonpartisan redistricting, which we previously received.
Okay, then we'll receive that for information.
That is all.
Thank you very much. County Administrators Report. Adam, you're on mute. You're still muted.
How's
There you
that?
go.
After a certain point, it must just go to mute because it wasn't before. I think Chris Lewinsky, who is hosting this meeting and always does a great job, set me up. It's good to see everyone. You know, I know we all miss meeting in person and we all hope to be doing that sooner rather than later, but my goodness, if you're the public participating in these meetings, not only is it on YouTube in perpetuity, so they can go back and look at it anytime they want or re-listen to it if they didn't understand something the first time, but they also get an inside view of all of your offices and living rooms. We get to see who has a green thumb, your decorations, what kind of art you like. So we're all learning a little bit more about one another, but thank you for rolling with the challenges that we've had, obviously, the last year, and hopefully we all will be together soon. Tonight, it's my privilege to give a brief overview of the state of the county. And I ask that you bear with me because many of you, if not all of you, have had an opportunity to review it. But it's not just for the county board. This state of the county is for the community, similar to the governor giving a state of the state or a budget address. Generally, the legislature receives the information that evening or just before the meeting and has a chance to review it as you have. But anyone in the future that wants to go back and get a feel for the wonderful accomplishments we've all been a part of, they can certainly do that. So I'm going to give a big picture overview, and if Chris could please tee up some slides. You're going to see some photos as I touch on each area. I thought you might prefer to look at the photos than me, so that's my early gift to all of you. So as you know, we're all part of a very dynamic organization here. 850 employees working in 19 departments, administering over 207 programs and services. I've often said to county board supervisors and department heads and the public alike that unless you're part of this organization, you really don't fully appreciate just all the breadth of what's going on here and the ample opportunities to learn and be part of helping make good things happen. So I know it's been a privilege for me the last 22, 23 years to work with Sheboygan County government. And I know many of our board members have been here for some time as well. And you all know just how many opportunities there are here to work with others to help make good things happen. So next slide, please. As we look back on 2020, what I've tried to do for over a decade or so is put together a high-end summary of some of our key accomplishments, achievements that we've certainly worked with others to attain. And 2020 was the year of COVID. It was a very challenging year for all of us, and that's an understatement. Some of us were in the front lines more than others. Some of us may have felt the brunt of it a little bit more, particularly if we had a family member who got sick or know someone who passed away. Our public health staff, our emergency responders, our staff working at nursing homes and assisted living facilities and hospitals. I can personally tell you that I've often looked upon our team as being strong, but until 2020, I fully gained even a higher level of respect and appreciation for our team here. From county board supervisors to staff, people stepped up and supported one another. So one of the first things we had to do back in March almost a year ago now, was put together this pandemic administrative panel. And again, many people aren't aware that every single Monday morning since March, we get together with hospital presidents and school administrators, public health professionals, elected officials. Chairman Koch has participated in this group from the beginning, and many others, obviously our sheriff, emergency responders, to plan and prepare for COVID and help keep the community informed. And of course, Star Grossman, our public health officer, and her public health team have truly been rock stars throughout this. They have shouldered so much and really stepped up. Providing personal protective equipment was really one of the key concerns I had within a week or two of this hitting our community. And organizations like the Kohler Company stepped up and provided us with donated personal protective equipment. The collaboration with the business community has been absolutely key to our success. Whether it's Kohler, Sargento, Johnsonville, the Sheboygan County Economic Development Corporation, the County Chamber, many pillars in our community, highly regarded and respected organizations in our community stepped up and encouraged everyone to take some personal responsibility to be part of the solution. So I can't tell you how proud I am of our team and everyone that works here, but also the community. We also saw some people who didn't step up and some people that maybe weren't so kind or civil, and that was tough, I think, for many of us to see and be a part of. But overall, the vast majority of the people in this community who obviously love living here and have worked here, raised their families here, wanted to make sure that we pulled together to defeat COVID. And as you know, of late, it's been increasingly encouraging. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that community engagement out of the block was one of the key things we had to do to prepare to defeat COVID. Next was focusing on protecting our vulnerable residents. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 9 nursing homes in Sheboygan County, one of which we own, Rocky Knoll. We have 97 assisted living facilities. Think of how many vulnerable residents there are throughout this community who have been relying on us and their loved ones, and most importantly, their nurses and CNAs and housekeepers and dietitians and everyone who works at these nursing homes and assisted living facilities to help keep them safe. So proud of the people in this community. And again, our public health team, they were the first to reach out to not only Rocky Knoll, but all the nursing homes and make sure that they had the personal protective equipment that they needed, best practices. And I'm sure you all recall Sunny Ridge was the first to get hit with a COVID case. In fact, a number of them, both amongst staff and residents. And that truly tested the grit in our community. And immediately you could see the state, local public health, emergency responders, our emergency management director, Steve Steiner, and so many pulled together to be sure that we addressed that and made changes to enhance the safety in the building and protect the residents and those staff. So very proud of those efforts. And again, very proud of our public health team and everyone involved. Next slide, please. Employee benefit and organizational changes. I mean, it goes without saying when you have an organization of 850 employees, there's always going to be personal matters. There's going to be policies and procedures that are going to be changed or considered. But never have we had a year where we had to make the adjustments that we did in 2020. And it was just an unprecedented time where we had to quickly address telecommuting policy, allowing more flexible work schedules, expanding our sick leave, providing opportunities for people to take care of their children at home, daycare closures, just remarkable number of changes that we had to quickly establish. We also, through the county board support, provided a wage increase for our CNAs at Rocky Knoll because we already were short-staffed and we didn't want to lose more. In fact, we wanted to encourage people to work there. We provided hazard pay. We lifted vacation caps. We did what we responsibly could to help our team continue to do their jobs. And I want to thank and acknowledge our corporation counsel, Crystal Fieber. She was a rock star through it all, so helpful, provided such effective guidance. and of course our HR director, Dennis Miller, his team, the HR committee, everyone stepped forward, stepped up, and I think we did right by our organization. Those things don't just magically happen. We've got good people here. Building use and safety enhancements. You know, often our building services department staff, you know, they perhaps don't get the recognition they deserve. They quietly go about their job, keeping our buildings safe, clean, nice environment to work in. And were they challenged to improve our facilities where we could continue to come here and work, provide more social distancing, putting up plexiglass as we did in the county board chambers, number of changes to all 5 courtrooms. And not only was building services rock stars through this all, but our IT staff, all the virtual meetings and support and troubleshooting and teleconferencing and video conferencing, just remarkable. And so I want to thank Chris Lewinsky, who, as everyone knows, has been so strong throughout this and so capable throughout this, as well as Jim Tabiste and all of his staff. All the IT and building services staff have been tremendous. And we owe them a debt of gratitude. They've been wonderful. And then also financing and securing federal reimbursement. As the Finance Committee and Wendy Sharnan, and now everyone's well aware, I mean, come March, April, we were very concerned we were going to lose revenue. We thought our sales tax would take a big hit. We thought our property taxes likely would take a hit. And of course, we were very concerned with all the additional expenditures associated with battling COVID, contact tracing, testing, all the cleaning and additional work surrounding the response to COVID and the battle with COVID. And all of our department heads, not only did they do a good job making adjustments as needed, but Wendy Sharnan and the accountants in finance did a terrific job tracking all the expenditures, making sure that was all carefully, and I mean to the penny, tracked so we could apply for federal reimbursement predominantly through CARES Act funding, which we're so thankful for. But the state also passed forward some of those dollars, and we appreciate that support. In fact, as you recall, we had upwards of $4.3 million in additional expenditures and revenue reductions. And thankfully, because of the CARES Act funding, rather than shouldering more of that pressure on property taxpayers or tapping significantly into our reserves, we received full reimbursement, and that helped obviously with our fiscal situation. So again, a credit to everyone involved for the good work in those areas. So those were just a top 5 from the standpoint of what we were up against in 2020 that wasn't planned for, wasn't budgeted for, and we all had to pull together and tackle and support one another. And I think history is going to look back at our county board and our team here in our community and say, you know what, people stepped forward, people stepped up. So I'm very proud of our team here. Moving along, another top area that I know we all take pride in is we continue to own and operate a nursing home. Most counties don't own and operate a nursing home. I think it's about 30, 35 counties that continue to do so. 20 years ago, back in 2007, we had Sunny Ridge. That's when we sold it. And prior to that, 2002, I think we sold Comprehensive. We had 3 nursing homes. We had more beds than any county in the state. Now we have 1 facility. It's a beautiful facility. And if you're going to be in the business, you better doggone do it well. And I'm really pleased with Kayla Clinton's leadership at Rocky Knoll. She's been out taking some leave, as you know, and Jill Mueller has been our deputy there, and she's been shouldering the leadership the last few months, and Rocky Knoll is truly on a roll. Once again, earned a 5-star rating from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. Additionally, Rocky Knoll received the Best in Long-Term Care Award from U.S. and World Report, and through collaboration with VibeTech, a private organization, was the recipient of the McKnight's Excellence in Technology Gold Award for Innovator of the Year at Rocky Knoll Healthcare Center. We also partnered with Growing Generations to create our own in-house daycare. And I'm personally really pleased with how well that came together. And it truly is now serving and helping us with recruiting and retaining employees. So we've got a niche there and an upper hand, certainly from some of the other very good nursing homes in the county, but really proud of our team and what Rocky Knoll has been able to do. And as our finance committee and the county board is well aware, we just recently received a grant from the state, upwards of $1.6 million, to continue to do some upgrades and remodeling to benefit our residents there. So feeling good about that. Moving on, speaking of residents and facilities, in 2020, we opened some behavioral health residential treatment facilities. And as you can see picture, they look very traditional, like they could be in any neighborhood. They're very nice places. And these are to help people recovering from mental illness and substance abuse, which is can be a lifelong journey. And if we don't provide this treatment here, some of these residents would have to be out of the area, Trempealeau County or other facilities, which is more difficult to visit your loved ones and far more costly. So credit to Matt Stripmatter, Jackie McGlowski, our Health and Human Services Committee, all involved for their support and leadership to bring these to fruition. We think it's going to be a real important investment in our community and certainly going to serve some people that are going to need that help. At our airport, we completed the U.S. Customs facility. As you know, a little pressure was taken off us when the Ryder Cup was postponed 1 year, and we took advantage of that. It took a little bit of pressure off everyone involved with addressing change orders and things that come up anytime you do a substantial building like that. But very proud that this vision came to fruition through the support of the Bureau of Aeronautics, certainly our Department of Transportation, and it's a partnership with the Kohler Company. Another example of collaboration and working together to support our airport. And for those of you who haven't heard this recently, the Sheboygan County Memorial Airport, not only is it one of the largest general aviation airports in the state with approximately 40,000 annual aircraft operations, 40,000 annual aircraft operations. It also results in $25.9 million in an annual economic impact for our local community. So that little jewel out there that many people drive by on 23 and may never know to turn on TT and see what's going on. The airport is a driver and provides great support to our local economy. And of course, we look to this customs facility to further solidify Sheboygan County as an international destination and spur more economic development. Shout out to Greg Schnell, who I know has joined us this evening, Jim Tabeast. Both of them provided key leadership and oversight. Matt Grenoble, our new airport superintendent, I say new, he's been there, I think about a year and a half, but they did a nice job overseeing this project and it really turned out well. Getting to the conclusion here, but moving on to the planning and conservation enhancements. Always an area near and dear to me. Those of you who know me a little better, my dad is a retired wildlife professor, and before I was hired for this job, I used to work with an organization called the Land and Water Conservation Association. I worked with county land conservation committees across the state, and I just have always had my heart in natural resource protection and enhancement. And boy, coming to Sheboygan County and seeing the support of the county board and our planning department to make good things happen. I mean, we created a stewardship program. You helped leverage $100 million to clean up our Sheboygan River and Harbor. You took a leap of faith and put $4.2 million to purchase the Amsterdam Dunes. And then once again, a wonderful collaborative effort. Aaron Brault and our PRACOM committee worked with the Friends of the Marsh to now build a environmental education center at the Sheboygan County Marsh. And this, again, partnership with the private sector, Kohler Company stepped up, was a strong donator, as was Sargento and many others. But a credit to our planning department, Aaron and all of his staff, Praycom. In addition to the Marsh Education Facility, we acquired a $175,000 grant to extend the old Plank Road Trail all the way along Highway 23 to Fond du Lac. So I think a lot of people are going to appreciate that. And then we also acquired a $550,000 grant to restore some stream corridors and make some further enhancement at Amsterdam Dunes. So real proud of our environmental track record and the good work that the county board and our department has done. And then finally, I'll conclude with our strong fiscal condition. Every now and then we'll have someone be elected to the county board, new, who doesn't really know the track record here. And, we'll start off with saying we need to cut the fat, or we need to, hold the line. And I can tell you with all sincerity, when you have folks like Bill Gehring and Roger Destrudy and former Charlie Conrarty, former county board chair Tom Wagner, I can go on and on. We have such thoughtful board members here, and our track record is outstanding. It's outstanding. And if you look at the last 10, 12 years of what our levy increases have been on average each year, you take out the highs and lows and average it all together, it's just a little over 1% a year. And I think that's remarkable. It's really a tribute to our county board and our department heads and all involved. So we have, I think, an excellent fiscal track record. The board in November enacted a 1.5% property tax levy increase. And as I said, if you look at the last 10 years, it's been closer to about 1.2%. Our tax rate did drop this past year, 26 cents to $4.96 per thousand. So it was almost a 5% reduction. And when you look at our reserves, we're really in good shape. Wendy just today provided me with an update on how we're looking with our overall reserves. And we actually, despite COVID, saw some nice increases in our reserves. The transportation department, through the sales tax revenue, because of Greg's good work to reprioritize some programming and projects and focus more on municipal work, we were able to garner more sales tax revenue, and that's fallen to the bottom line. So Greg and the transportation committee is going to be able to take on some big projects in the upcoming years. In fact, right now we have $6 million in our transportation fund balance. Now, some people might think, geez, that's a lot of money. But to put it in perspective, just one project like the intersection at Taylor Drive in Indiana is $5 million. Or extending Taylor Drive from Union to Erie is $6 million. So again, to Greg's credit and our transportation committee, they do a nice job with that long-term planning and utilizing those sales tax funds. Our general fund, that is predominantly all the departments, that increased 1.6 million. So between our general fund, our transportation fund, and then Rocky Knoll, they took a hit. Their census went down with COVID. But because of the CARES Act funding or other funding that address those losses, they as well are going to hold the line and may even have a modest positive variance. Our audit is still in play, but I'm pleased to report that our overall general fund unassigned fund balance is now at 21.7 million, up from last year where it was closer to I think it was up about 4% from last year. So we're looking good, and that's a credit again to Finance Committee Chair Bill Gehring and the Finance Committee, Chairman Koch, the Executive Committee, everyone involved with that budget process. Collaboration has certainly been the key to our success, and feeling good about where we're at financially. So I'll end with this. I'll kind of end where I started. It's been a demanding year for all of us. And I think we all have gained something from this experience. And I think we probably all have maybe added a few gray hairs and carried more stress than we might otherwise from this experience. For the new county board supervisors, this is not the norm. What we experienced in 2020 is nowhere near the norm. And we're not out of the woods yet. This doggone battle with COVID continues. But when I attend our Monday morning meetings, and I'll just refer to the last two or three in particular, you can feel the optimism. You can feel we're starting to turn the corner. You look at our recent trends and you can see the active cases going down. You can see the hospitalization usage going down. And for those of us in the front lines, I can't tell you how much that means to us. The average person in the community might not think about hospitals being overwhelmed, but we do. So I'm feeling encouraged about where we're at. And I know the executive committee is monthly looking at those trends and this data and going to be making recommendations to Chairman Koch about, do we get the county board meeting in person again or committees meeting in person again? And we all want to see that happen. And I'm optimistic it's going to happen sooner rather than later. But I would be irresponsible, and we all would be irresponsible, if we weren't mindful of what we're hearing from federal, state, and local public health professionals about these variants and what still may be headed our way in the United States, and whether the vaccines will be able to counter these variants. We're hopeful, we're optimistic, but there's just continues to be so much uncertainty with this that I thank everybody for your patience and your leadership. And I think it's important that we do what we said we were going to do early on in this process. Err on the side of caution and help keep people safe. So thank you for your attention this evening and bearing with me on some information I know some of you are well aware of, but I sure am proud of our collective accomplishments, and I hope you are too. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Administrator Payne. Try with the mute off. Next is the consideration of committee reports, Executive Committee, Resolution number 25.
Regarding carryover of unexpended 2020 appropriations to 2021, committee recommendation to adopt as amended.
Okay, Supervisor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll move for passage of resolution number 25.
Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Supervisor Damp? You're on mute yet.
I will second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Damp.
You're welcome.
Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, all those in favor of resolution number 25, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 26.
Regarding approving intergovernmental cooperative agreement with the City of Sheboygan for dive team operations, recommendation to adopt.
Supervisor Gehring.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move to adopt.
Thank you, Supervisor Gehring.
Mr. Chair,
Supervisor Immel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will second that motion.
Thank you. Under discussion. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 26, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 27.
Regarding approving intergovernmental agreement among Northeast Wisconsin counties for transportation Department Mutual Aid. Recommendation to adopt as amended.
Okay. Supervisor Dam?
I move to adopt resolution number 27.
Thank you, Supervisor Dam. Supervisor Testrodi? Supervisor Testrodi, you're still on mute.
Sure.
You're still on mute, Supervisor Testrodi. Okay. Supervisor Bosman, you want to pinch hit?
Yes, certainly. I will second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Bosman. Okay, under discussion. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 27, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carried. And with that, I hand the gavel to Supervisor Zigglebauer.
Good evening to you all. Resolutions introduced.
There are none.
Ordinance is introduced. Ordinance number 8.
From Finance Committee regarding continuing waiver of penalty on delinquent payment of second installment of 2019 taxes and waiving penalty on 2020 taxes through December 31st, 2021.
Pursuant to Rule 13, it is anticipated that a motion to withdraw this proposed ordinance will be made. If by 2/3 of a vote, the board votes to pull the ordinance, it will be subject to immediate action. I would entertain a motion to pull it. Thank you, Fran. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Vice Chair. Keith Albert.
Thank you, Keith. Supervisor Obler. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's no opposed. I would entertain a motion to enact.
I will so move.
Thank you, Supervisor Dam.
Second, Wagner.
Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Would you all please vote? Or is there any discussion? I'm sorry. Would you all please vote on the ordinance?
Aye.
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 Hearing all ayes, it is passed. Moving on to ordinance number 9.
Ordinance number 9 from Planning, Resources, Agricultural and Extension Committee regarding amending shoreline ordinance in the town of Holland.
That'll be referred to executive, ordinance number 9. I'll release the floor to Supervisor Testrudi for the next action.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I move for adjournment.
Thank you, Supervisor Testrudi. Is there a second?
Supervisor Hoffman, second.
Thank you, Supervisor Hoffman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Have a good evening. We stand adjourned.
Night, stay safe, stay healthy, everybody.
Aye.
Stay warm.